2025 has definitely been a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to Cardano. You know, on one hand, we have had major steps forward in terms of Cardano, major developments, big partnerships, integrations, yada, yada, that we talk about here on the channel all the time. And on the other side, we obviously have had ADA, which has not performed that well here in 2025. And I will say that really nothing outside of BTC has performed well here in 2025. And that was obviously because of institutional money and government accumulation, all that jazz, right? But what I will say is that Cardano has done some great things that have led us to the highest point of relevance we've ever seen. In fact, this weekend, we saw Cardano, ADA become the #1 asset in all of crypto. And I want to talk about that with you guys. This is very important. And we're also starting to see some of these developments recognized by something that has not agreed with good ADA price performance before. It's actually shifting now the opposite direction. We're going to talk about all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. It's been growing like crazy, and it's all because of you guys. Now, I will say it's about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. We were just seeing ADA cross 63 cents here. Good Sunday so far. Not going to get too carried away with it. Not saying this is, moon moments or anything like that. I still think that we have a lot of volatility ahead. Like we talked about yesterday, I said the calm before the storm. A lot of people, tried to give me a bunch of shit for it. But guys, it's truly the calm before the storm. We're in a tight compression zone for ADA, for BTC. We're going to see volatility when volume hits. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. It is coming, and it's a question of, again, is it a good storm? Is it a bad storm? Do we go up? Do we go down? That's the big question. We could see either direction here, right? Now, what I will say is that 2025 in general for assets has sucked. We have seen so much negative news in the crypto market. It's been very tough to make some headway. The first half of 2025 has basically been a wash, a lost cause. It sucks. It is what it is, but it's obviously given us a lot of opportunities. And the context that people lack that they tried to dog on ADA with is, guys, we've had Deepseek news. We've had quantum computing news. We've had Trump Melania meme coin. We've had uncertainty abroad. We've had tariff news. We've had 2 of the largest black swan events in crypto history. That has all been condensed into basically this 6-month period of just suck in the market. Now, the good news is that the market has taken some steps forward during that time too. We've obviously seen better economic data. We're closer to interest rate decreases. I think we did see 1 decrease during this period of time, but we're closer than ever to getting back to quantitative easing. We have global liquidity on the rise. We have a lot of things actually working in our favor for a good, basically back half of 2025. And this isn't me kicking the can down the road. I just understand context, and context is the most important thing in the market. What we have actually seen during this time is ADA continue, or Cardano at least, take big steps forward even as the market has sucked. Okay? Big integrations, partnerships, developments, like we talk about here all the time that I won't get too much into this video. This has brought us to a point where Cardano is being discussed and ADA is being discussed in a very different light. In fact, over the course of this weekend, we saw ADA, Cardano, become the #1 asset in crypto in terms of discussions. So we've actually passed Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Monero, BTC, doesn't really matter. Cardano was the #1 discussed asset or chain, whatever you want to reference. And why this is happening is because we have some pretty big things going on. Now, this isn't only just noticed in these discussions here. It's not just, rolling off the back or of everybody or anything like that. Even AI is starting to take notice. Deepseek forecasting a $7 ADA here in 2025. Grok forecasting an $8 ADA here in 2025 via a little bit of input discussion, which I'll get to that more in just a moment. But what is happening with Cardano is in fact being noticed by the industry. It's being discussed by the industry. Some still hate it, don't want anything to do with it. Some are slightly changing their tune. But this is also the reason why when we look at 2025 here in terms of price, from basically February 3rd on, ADA has not set a new low. There are so many people that are unwilling to dump their bags. It's why sellers are getting exhausted. It's because there are so many people that don't want to miss out on potentially a huge step forward in terms of Cardano. AI notices. People are noticing, right? That's why we've taken big steps to forward in terms of holders. That's why we're seeing this extreme hoarding in terms of ADA, right? Another big week where we saw $24 million worth of ADA removed from exchanges. This isn't a surprise. It's not an uncommon thing, right? And we're in, frankly, a great spot right now. All right. Now, what this could lead to, obviously, is a pretty big supply shock. You could see some big news hit ADA that causes it to surge and do one of these, 4x moves like we've seen many times before. I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure, but understand that the only thing that has held back ADA isn't ADA itself. It's the outside shit, right? It's the stuff that has just held the market down for many, many months here. It seems like every time we're on the verge of a breakout and we get some good news and we start making some headway, we get some negative stuff to push the market down. We get some manipulation that pushes the market down. And I find it kind of funny because people keep falling for it. And they keep saying, oh, ADA's a bad asset, or this is a bad asset, or that is a bad asset. Nothing right now is a bad asset because we're at 5 to 6% of the world in crypto. We haven't even tapped into adoption in this cycle. It's been basically just a big bunch of manipulation and a bunch of negative events that have basically slowed down the big moment that we're waiting for, the big boom in the market. Now, I want to talk about this more in a different video coming later today, but people are they are ignoring context and they are losing sight of some of the biggest things taking place. And Cardano, frankly, in crypto right now, has some of the biggest things taking place. I think that's really what gets me excited about this market cycle. That's why I haven't changed my projections for this year. I still think we're going to see somewhere in that $7 to $15 ADA. It might be later this year. It might be later than we expected. Obviously, the timeframes have shifted because of the early part of this year. But if you keep taking these steps forward, if you keep staying relevant, if you keep seeing holders stay convicted, if you keep seeing this removal of supply from exchanges, there is going to be a moment where things get a little poppy. All right. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I appreciate you as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that AI projections? Oh, I forgot to talk about that. Yeah. One of the things I put into Grok was I talked about how high do you think ADA can get in this market cycle. It talked about it getting close to $3. I said, what can it get to if we do in fact see some adoption take place? Then it was talking about $8 and yada, yada, yada. I almost forgot about that, but I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.